So what does it tell us, the fact that this is everywhere across the country and not just in specific geographic locations? Because when we do see these outages, it's usually in a small area and they get things back on track pretty quickly. This is pretty deep, obviously, in the network, as you were pointing out. Do we know if there were any upgrades going on, any equipment being replaced, anything happening behind the scenes at Optus that could have sparked this?
Well, that's a really good question. We don't know this, but if there's any suggestion of negligence or insufficient maintenance or errors, then they could be facing further legal action, because an awful lot of businesses and services will have faced economic disadvantage. But I'd like to just add one quick thing here. It's also a wake-up call for businesses to think about resilience. That is, having a plan B, like another network provider or another telco, that they have maybe a Telstra emergency account that they can switch to in these cases. Like, even retail outlets couldn't serve people, or they could serve people coffee. People couldn't pay for it because their networks were down. So it's important that businesses think about having an alternative backup plan when this happens. And these days we're going to see options like LEO satellite providers, SpaceX, and that providing these kind of services to help.
Chris, just hold tight. We've got another grab here in from the Optus CEO. She's just spoken on the Sydney radio station 2GB. She's talking about a pathway back in terms of restoring the network. Let's just hear what she's had to say.
The good news is that we have a path to restoring the whole network, and so we're bringing it up progressively as we speak.
So it is up and running in some places?
For all our customers. Yeah, and we'll be working through getting it up and running everywhere as soon as we can.
And how long are we expecting? Give us some sort of time frame to look toward.
Look, we're working through it progressively, so we're going as fast as we possibly can.
Okay, well, that's starting to sound a little bit more positive, isn't it, that services are being restored in some parts, but no timeline there in terms of when everyone across the country is going to be back online. Absolutely.
Of course, knowing exactly the time frame depends on what the cause was, and that will determine how fast they can bring the network up. But just like when computer systems go down and that they've got to bring equipment back online, and if it's in the core of the network, that could be quite a convoluted process. But we don't know, and hopefully, particularly for commuters, it's going to be fairly quick so that they know what to do, whether to wait for the train or go home some other way.
Chris Griffith, really appreciate your analysis. Thank you so much for joining us.